Section 9.7 is on properties of matrices. A square matrix is just a matrix in which it looks like a square. The rows and columns are equal. A good example would be a 2x2 matrix or a 3x3 matrix or a 4x4 matrix, anything that's going to make a square shape. Two matrices are equal if they're the same size and each one of their elements have to be equal. So, for instance, what this means is that the first element of the first matrix should equal the first element of the second matrix. So for this first one, what that means is that 5 has to equal the other first entry, which is y plus 3. So if we treat this as an equation, subtracting 3 from both sides, it means that y equals 2. If you continue right along doing the same method, you would look at your second entry in this matrix, which is x minus 4 and 2. That means that x minus 4 needs to equal 2. So again, solving this like a normal equation means you would add 4 to both sides and means that x would equal 6. Continuing right along in the same fashion, we would look at, let's see, in the second row, we'd look at the first entry, which is 2 and z plus 4. So that would mean, as our third value here, that 2 needs to equal z plus 4. So to figure out what z equals, you would subtract 4 from both sides, which would give you that z equals, well, 2 minus 4 would give us -2 for our z value. Now let's look for our last value, which would be what does w equal? Well, w, if we look at it, is in the very last entry. Well, the very last entry of the previous matrix is 5, so that means w, there's no options here, w has to equal 5 for these two matrices to be the same. Next, we'll move on to adding and subtracting matrices. If you're going to add matrices, the idea is actually very simple. It just means that the matrices need to be the exact same size so that entries can match up, and you would just add matching entry with matching entry or subtract matching entry with matching entry. For example, in this first example, you have a 3 and a 4. You're adding the two matrices, so you would take those two values, add them up, and they would become a 7 in your final answer matrix. A 0 matrix is just a matrix that has 0 in each and every element of the entire matrix.